of this guy is that sometimes we see in the literature of our literature review that there are discrepancies or some data that are simply wrong. When we are beginning the career, he says that we usually try this as a problem, as a thing that that it's bad to our research. He, as a major researcher, says that we have to treat these problems, these errors in the theory, as an opportunity to build on the theory. I don't know in which class I said this, but when you are writing an introduction, you say that one technique is to say that there is a gap or an error in the theory, in the literature, and then your work is to try to diminish that one mistake. So an error in the theory is an opportunity. It's not a thing to a bad thing. Okay. There are many graphs because he's an engineer and physician. Okay. Poincaré. Okay. That one advice about computer packages is from this part. I got wrong the part of the article. So you have to test your data in the new software to see if the software is working properly. Okay. Just like in mathematics software, they put like P or another very well-known constant to be constructed in the software to see if the software is working properly. So if the software constructs the irrational algorithms that appear in the whole number in the right way, the software is working properly. Okay. Motivation. Sometimes when we work with research, we have a tendency to theorize too much and don't get very often to the field. Sometimes the students go more to the field than the researchers. So this guy, this engineer is saying that it's important that we start doing more things, that we have a more hands-on approach, that we take care to not theorize too much. Okay. When you are going to present your work, you have to make write or draw good banners, draw or write good tables, good graphics, so people get interested in your work. And at some time when I was writing a paper with my supervisor in the doctorate degree, the article was at that point when she did not contribute it yet, a little inexperienced. But when she saw the graphics that we made, she said, this is a good article, just because the graphics of the net of authors that was publishing together or citing each other in the area. So one graphic or a good table or a good citation of a person that we made an interview, etc. Just one thing can be worth of the whole paper. So try to make the best graphic as possible, try to make the best table, or try to collect evidence and speeches and talks of the people you interviewed as good as possible. So these things will be your passport to the publishing a good journal. Okay. So he's making a statement about writing papers in that ideology that some good papers written along a whole career of academic research can be better than just one magnum opus. So in ancient times, it was common to write one book and stop writing, or write 10 good books and stop writing. Nowadays, it's better to write a series of good and small articles, papers, and keep floating than just writing some books and stop. This is because your impact factor is accounted about your 5 last year's publishings, and I don't know. There is an H index that Google calculates that the bigger the index, the best your impact factor. There are some index. The most thing the most thing is the H index. Okay. So the tip to write good papers is to read good papers, read good books. There's no shortcut. You have to read too much to write too much. Okay. So building a research group, you have to start mining people. Just as we pick our friends, we have to pick our research team. So you have to be around people that are very competent in your area and that are ethical in doing research. So if you can't choose a guy to be your friend, why do you choose this guy to be in your research team? I don't know how to separate the two things. So the one thing that I see that you have to pick friends that are competent just like you to build a good research team. Okay. This is about the ideology of engineers and physicians. It's an ode to simplicity. So this guy believes that the best work is written in a simple way. The wording is simple, the the size is not big because of prolixity and so on. Okay. And the way of putting the problem, it deserves depth and also generality. So you try to make this problem scalable. Also, as such, you can make this problem be seen in another context, another than the one that this problem was generated. And also, you try to put this problem in context, but without being superficial. This is important, not to be superficial. Sometimes, when you try to publish your papers, and they are not getting published because the people who evaluate your papers don't are not into the themes or subjects that you are writing. Sometimes a good strategy is to publish books first. So if you are going to be a researcher, and you are trying to establish a new subject of knowledge, you have to work in two fronts. You have to keep floating with your papers in the journals, and the other front, you have to start publishing books with your colleagues from your university and other universities to establish that subject in your country or in your university, and etc. Just like happened with gestão social from Brazil, that it's a jabuticaba concept. Just here in Brazil we study this, and when people tried to start publishing this, they didn't get published in the big journals because the professors didn't know what they were talking about, and so things weren't published. So people start publishing books and continued publishing papers about other themes. Okay. So when you want to see if you are doing good or bad in academy, you have to see how is your impact factor. There is the Google metrics, the H index, and another indexes that Google makes available at the internet, and there is a software. This is called Publish or Perish. I will write this in the board. Okay, this is not mine, but publish or perish. And the woman that developed the software is Harzin something. I don't remember the first name of her. So in this software, Publish or Perish, you can see if one paper that you wrote is with a good impact factor. You can see if your impact factor is good. You can see if your supervisor impact factor is good, and you can see also which were the main papers that were published inside your theme. So the bigger the impact factor, the better is the author or the paper or the book. So in ancient times, a good researcher was thought to write many papers and many books. Nowadays, a good researcher is a researcher that is very much cited. The most important thing is not to write many articles, papers, or even papers, etc. The most important thing is to be cited many times. And this has to be done preferably between the 5-year gap. Okay. So when you talk about impact factor, in each area, in each subject, there will be a range of a good or bad impact factor. So you can start collecting the impact factors of the journals of your area and start comparing them to see which is the most influential and which is the least influential. In the area of this guy, applied mathematics or engineering, a good impact factor is around 1.9, but in other areas 1.3 or 0.8 is, in each area there is a range of impact factor. And each researcher has an impact factor too. Okay. Tá. The H index is like if you have an H index of 3, you have 3 articles that are most cited. I don't know if it's in the 3 last years, or there is 2 times that the 3 number appears if you have the H index. I know that it's 3 times. It's 3 times cited by 3 influent articles. I think that's it, the H index. If your H factor is 50, you have 50 papers that are cited by 50 influent papers, another papers, and so goes on. So the H index, you say number cited by number papers. Huh? No, there can be a limit of a human possible, but you can have infinite articles cited by infinite papers. It's a question of. I know that a good researcher that has a good dominion of his theme can write 1 paper a month in the big universities, because he has a big team of alumni. He has a good infrastructure of secretary and etc. So he does not have to get the hands dirty of bureaucracy and formularies to fulfill and anything that is just papers. He just gets to write papers all the time, 12 hours a day. So this way, the guy can write one paper a month for 50 years. How many articles can be? But when you're working in other conditions, I don't think this is possible. Okay. So I think that's all, folks. So next class, we are going to have 7 texts, but you don't have to worry. They are very much shorter, 5 pages, 10 pages. So each class is about 60 pages of articles long. All the papers are in English. Okay. So I'm gonna send this article in a zip file to your email in next class. I hope we get a little more apprehension of the text. Thanks.